Weekend. I'm so happy you're here. My name's Mandy. Mindy will be back next week. And I'm very grateful to have this opportunity to practice with you fine folks. It's such a privilege to share yoga, breathing, meditation with fellow humans, fellow souls. So I have another brain balancing class planned: low back release, leg strengthening, and hand strengthening. Irv and I talked about foot massage before class. It's always a good idea to have a small ball handy, or two: golf ball, racquetball, tennis ball. Just when you're sitting watching television or eating dinner or whatever, reading, put your foot on the ball and roll it around. Press down, roll it around. You're massaging the bottoms of your feet, breaking up tension, and it's really nice to do. A golf ball is harder and smaller. It's a little more intense, but if it is too intense, just put a towel, like a fold a hand towel, and put it over the golf ball, and that will decrease the intensity. So it should be more tolerable. All right, welcome. Let's begin sitting on our chair and feeling the space that we're occupying. And as you sit here, grow the posture taller. And a nice way to do that is plant the feet down as if you're making nice equal footprints in the sand. Feeling the belly start to engage, to hold the posture up higher. Feel the crown reaching up. And we will begin breathing in and out of nose, noticing what it feels like to breathe in and out of the nose. If you are a mouth breather, do your best. Practicing in and out of nose, make sure you're getting enough air. And then begin to slow down the breath. We're going to use our imagination for alternate nostril breath now. So next time you breathe in, imagine the path of the air coming in and up the left nostril. And when you breathe out, it's going down and out the right nostril. Next time you breathe in, it goes back up the right and down the left. It's kind of like a ball bouncing. In the left, out the right. In the right, out the left. Just following that breath. Obviously, it's going in and out both sides, but we're focusing the imagination as if it's going in the left, out the right, in the right, out the left. I imagine a ball bouncing slowly up and down, back and forth. We can increase the sensation by manipulating this with using our fingers. The ring finger can rest on a nostril lobe. The thumb can rest on the other nostril lobe. I like to hold my first and second finger on my forehead just to support my hand. If you are using your hands, take one full breath in and out without closing the nostrils. If you're not using your hands, just keep imagining. Let's close off the right. Imagine or actually breathe in through the left. Switch so that the right is open, left is closed, and we breathe out. Stay there to breathe in the right. At the top of that inhale, switch to breathe out left. Breathing in left. Breathing out right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Last one, inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Hand lowers. Let's breathe naturally. There may be some swirling sensation. It's called alternate nostril breath, Nadi Shodhana. Balance our both sides of the brain, and it balances our emotions as well. Let's rub our hands together, make some heat. Tuck the thumbs in, wrap the fingers gently around the thumbs, and circle the wrists. Nice and slow. Change directions. Nice, big, smooth circles. I love being up close to my screen. I can see your cute faces. I'll move back when we do full body yoga. Okay, open wide and relax. Stretch, open wide, relax. Up the speed, do some slow, and then do some fast. Feel it all the way to the webbings of the fingers. I had a private client, Virginia. She was in her 90s and she was blind. She lost her sight in her 60s. She did this every day, 36 times. She had no arthritis in her hands. It was amazing. The rest of her body had a lot of arthritis, but her hands did not. And she gave this exercise credit. Okay, shake it out. Make a gentle fist. We're not squeezing at all. The fingers are just curled in. Tap the meaty part below the pinky fingers together. This is hand strengthening. This sequence is good for arthritis, brain balancing. We're hitting acupressure points. So reflexology. Turn your hands so now the center of the wrist, the inner wrist is tapping right below the heel of the hands. Make sure you're breathing. Breathing is not optional. All right, now this part is so awkward for me. Maybe it will be or won't be for you. The insides of the wrist, right below the thumbs. Tap, tap, tap. I like to mix it up. Yoga is an ancient practice, centuries old. I like to put some acupressure in there, Tai Chi, and all these ancient modalities overlap one another. It's all about energy. Pause and open up your fingers and feel your hands. Notice what they feel like. Now there's a hoku point, there's a webbing between the thumb and first finger. We can massage those webbings. Hoku, H-O-K-U. If you're pregnant, do not massage here. It brings on uterine contraction. So those are the only people that shouldn't be doing it. If you're not pregnant, it's okay. We can also tap them, open up our hands so they look like L's, capital L's, and we can tap the Hoku point. So it's up to you if you want to massage it or tap it. The Hoku point is nice for headaches and jaw tension. Tension headaches, migraines, TMJ. We're tapping. And then just switch. Switch how your hands are crossed and tap some more. All right. Remember when we were youngsters and we did here's the church, here's the steeple, open the doors, where are the people? We're going to do that now. So interlace your fingers together and tap those webbings. Do your best not to pull your hands all the way apart because the fingers will get tangled up. Good stuff. The webbings of our fingers and toes are very nice places to pay attention to. Most of us have ignored them most of our life. Okay, pause with your fingers closed and then slide the backhand to the front. So we're accessing the webbings a little bit differently and then tap there. You all signed up. You didn't know what you were getting into today, this fancy hand stuff. You're brave warriors. You come to yoga, not even knowing what's going to be asked of you. All right, pause. Take your hands apart. Notice if you feel any chi. Do you feel the chi? The answer is yes. Okay, clap the back of your hand. I'm just kidding. That's the last thing a yoga teacher needs to do is tell their students what they should be feeling. We are increasing the chi. Chi is life force energy. The yoga word for it is prana. It's all about the life force energy. Be gentle here. Backs of our hands are fragile. We got thin skin there. And then switch. Switch the top and bottom hand. After this class, you're going to be able to go into the kitchen and knead some bread dough and cut out some cookies, maybe paint a picture. Your hands will be so flexible. All right. And we're done. Feel your hands, the chi. We've got lots of healing energy here. So let's place the hands over the heart and circle up the left and down the right. Up the left and down the right. I am not mirroring you. We're going up the left, down the right. This is the sea of tranquility. And then just pause here and let that beautiful healing prana soak into our hearts. Heal any heartache from the past. And now place the hands on the belly and go the opposite way, up the right and down the left. This is the sea of energy. We're following the path of digestion, sea of energy. And we will revisit this when we do our low back sequence on the chair on the floor, up the right, down the left. And lastly, go to the back, low back, the small of the low back, and rub your healing hands on the kidney points, the kidneys. You can rub fast, slow, you can use your knuckles, you can use your palms, the sea of vitality. Filtering our blood, helping our blood filter. All right, awesome, good stuff. Woo! Jazz hands. Okay, I'm gonna go to my chair, change my camera. And let's get moving the rest of the body. Okay, feel your feet on the floor, sitting up nice and tall. Let's inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, palms together. Big sun breath. Inhale, reach out. Keep your hands low if it hurts your shoulder. Reach up over high your head if it doesn't hurt your shoulder. Exhale as the hands float down. 3 more sun breaths. All right, let's add on. Inhale, reach out or up. And exhale, hinge forward. Support hands on lap. We're hinging about 45 degrees with the torso. Re-lengthen the spine. And then fold deeper. Forward fold. Maybe the hands reach down. Maybe the head drops. Drop your head lower than your heart if you have glaucoma, untreated high blood pressure, or maybe a sinus thing happening right now. 2 more breaths. Just allow the torso to be heavy. Slide your hands onto your lap. Push yourself up slowly. We're going to stop halfway. Pausing halfway. Shrug the shoulders up towards the ears and then roll them way back. Feel your chest sticking out forward. Zip up the belly, tone the belly, and lift your hands in front of the shoulders. Now the elbows are helping the shoulders stay back because the elbows are reaching back as well. Breathe. Press down to the feet as you lift the chest. This is cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Great posture, great for our posture muscles. Breathe. Next time you exhale, push your hands away as if you're pushing the torso up straight. Good. Spin your fingers so they're facing down and reach out through the heels of the hands. Let's pretend we're Spider-Man and we're shooting a web across the room. Breathe. Good. Now spin the fingers back upright. Let's do this one more time, and I want you to do your best to be aware of the shoulder joint. It's as if the arm is spinning from the shoulder joint. Notice where you feel it. Good. Shake it out. Nice job. Sun salute number 2 is side bends. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to reach over. The hands can separate, or they can both stay up, or they can be on the waist. Inhale to come up to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale up to center. Exhale, hinge forward, pausing halfway. We pause to re-lengthen and remind our body to get the longest spine possible. And then we fold more, hinge more. 3 breaths in our forward fold. Uttanasana. My favorite Sanskrit word, Uttanasana. Loud, Uttanasana. Hands slide up to lap. Come on up halfway to re-lengthen the spine. Tone the belly. We're working towards Bhujangasana, cobra. Roll the shoulders back. Hands float up in front of shoulders. Elbows squeeze in towards the waist and point behind us. Breathe. Notice when you push down through your feet, the chest reaches out farther. That's good. That's what we want. We're defying gravity. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Next, exhale, push yourself upright. Now we're going to reach our hands out to the sides and do that same hand flip from the shoulder joint. Fingers down, the shoulders roll back. Fingers up, shoulders roll forward. Do your best, go slow, experiment. Play with it. It's coming from the shoulder joint. It's as if we have no elbow or wrist joint. Good. Shake it out. Good job, everybody. Awesome. Let's do one more sun salute. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold deeper. This time, slide your hands down the right leg and lift the right foot off the ground. Set it back down. Move your hands to the left leg, lift the heel, lower back down. It's weird, I know, it's weird. That's what we do when we come to yoga. We ask our body to do weird things. Makes it grow and stay young. Hands up to the lap, push yourself up slowly, 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 pausing halfway. Time for cobra, smiling cobra. Root down, curl the chest forward, hands up, shoulders back, elbows back, and smile. Smiling Bhujangasana. Awesome. Push yourself upright. Good. Rub the arms briskly. Rub, rub, rub. Rub the legs. You know, rubbing your arms and or legs brings you instantly to present moment. It's a great mindfulness trick, bringing us instantly to present moment. It's a magic trick. Okay, let's warm up the ankles by circling one ankle nice and slow. I want to get a little leg warm up before we do our sequence. That's optional to be on the floor. Change directions. And then point and flex. The heel can be rested on the floor for this, for sure. Or you can lift your leg up and float it in the air. Point and flex nice and slow. Find the fullest range of motion your ankle has today. Good. Other leg. First we circle, nice and slow. Change directions. And then point and flex, nice and slow. Point as far as you can point, flex as far as your ankle allows. Good. Place that foot back. Sit up nice and tall. Hinge forward enough so you can see your feet. Let's grab our right toes as if we're trying to pick up a piece of Kleenex from the floor with our right foot. Grab that Kleenex and maybe pick it up. And then let the toes drop it. Straighten the toes, spread them out, and then put the foot back down. Let's try the left side. Grab that invisible Kleenex with your toes. Pick it up off the ground. Relax the toes, straighten them out, give them time, and spread. And then set the foot back down. Other side, right side. Pick up the invisible tissue. Lift it up off the ground. And then straighten the toes. Give them time. Imagine it. If they're not cooperating, imagine it. Them spreading out, feel the air between the toes, and then set the foot back down. Do your best. Left side. Pick up the invisible tissue. Lift it up off the floor. Drop the tissue. Spread the toes. Straighten them. Spread them as best you can. And then set the foot down. Good job. Okay, wag the knees in and out. Slap them in and out. And then pause, toes out, heels out. Heels in, toes in. We're heel toeing out and in with our feet. Okay, one last time, and we're stopping. We're gonna go a little bit wider. So the heels, the toes are pointing out, knees are pointing out, they're a little wider than seated mountain. This is just so we can stretch the inner thighs a bit. Sit up nice and tall. I like my fingers at my hip crease so I can fold at my hip crease, keeping my back straight as possible. Elbows then can go to the lap, lengthening the spine, folding a little deeper. This is forward fold with wide legs. Maybe the hands go down, maybe the head drops. Wide-legged forward fold, a little bit different than when our feet are closer together. All right, hands up to the lap. Come on up, slowly, 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 pausing halfway. In our pause halfway, place your hands on the thighs, lengthen. Let's dip one shoulder towards the middle, down low. It's a little twist, and we're looking and twisting past the back shoulder. When we inhale, we come back to center. We're still leaning forward though, halfway, about 45 degrees. And then the exhale, we dip and twist with shoulder number 2. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, dip and twist. This is called Dairy Queen Asana. The Dairy Queen pose. Dip and twist. No sprinkles on top for me. Yuck. Those taste like little balls of wax. I know if you're a sprinkle lover, you'll never change, but I am not a sprinkle lover. Give me a Dairy Queen without the sprinkles. One more time, each side. Good job, everybody. Great way to warm up for our low back. Back to center. Come on up all the way. Shake it out. One more thing for our legs. Seated in the chair, and then you'll have the option to go to the floor. Let's bounce the right leg. Just bounce it up and down, allowing it to feel as free as possible, as loosey-goosey as possible. Add a wag side to side as you bounce it. Add a wag. We're wagging and bouncing. Now let's organize this movement and make an infinity symbol, a sideways figure 8. So good. Good for our hip joint, our knee joint, ankle joint, and our energy. Figure 8s organize our energy. And we all can use better organized energy, better balanced energy. Okay, pause. In seated mountain, feel that leg. Notice what's happening. Leg number 2, start bouncing it. This is freestyle bounce. Think loose, loosey-goosey thigh, leg, just shaking away, and then start to wag it as it bounces. One side may be a lot more cooperative than the other side. And that's okay. That's why we do a lot of things one side at a time. That side has a chance. It's not being overtaken by the stronger, maybe more coordinated side. And now let's do figure 8 with this leg. Sideways figure 8, the infinity sign. Good stuff. If ever you're bored, just sitting around, draw figure 8s with your hands, your arms, your foot, your knees. Figure 8s are a wonderful thing to do. All right, pause in seated mountain. Feel your body symmetrical, stable, strong, safely sitting here in symmetry, stable mountain. Very nice. Okay, the next postures sequence can be done on the floor. Safely work your way to the floor, lying on your back with knees bent. And if you have a strap can be used for the sequence. You don't have to have it, but it can be used, and I will tell you how to use it if you have a strap. So, lying on the floor with knees bent, and if you're staying in your chair, don't worry, I'm going to hop back up in the chair in a moment. Lie down on your back, knees bent. The floor people will be doing the same thing as the chair people, but the chair people are facing forward. The floor people are facing the ceiling. That's the only difference. When we hug our knee to the chest, the floor people will either hold their shin with interlaced fingers or behind their thigh, like I'm doing. That's as simple as that. It's the only difference is really the direction we're facing. Okay. So, whether you're on the chair or the floor, if you're using a strap, well, let's do the hug first. Let's draw our right leg up to the torso. The knee is pointing more towards the right shoulder. We start on the right side. Left leg is grounded if you're in the chair. It can stay bent or straight if you're on the floor. It can straighten out on the floor, the right leg, if that feels okay. Deep hug of the right leg. The interlaced fingers can be behind the thigh or over the shin. Breathe. This is called wind removing pose. We're compressing the ascending colon. We're really doing nice things for the hip. We're also releasing low back tension. Now, we're going to straighten the leg. So we're straightening the right leg. So if you're in the chair, the grip goes underneath the thigh. If you're lying down, the grip goes behind the thigh. If you're using a strap, the strap goes behind the balls of the toes, the ball mounds of the toes. So the heel is free from the strap, the arch is free from the strap. So whether you're lying down or seated, the strap is under, right below the toes. The heel is reaching towards the ceiling if you're on the floor. It's reaching away from you towards the opposite wall if you're seated. It's very common for the leg to shake during this portion of the posture. If your leg is shaking, that's normal. Breathe. All right, let's re-hug in, re-hug, bend the knee and re-hug it. And then open up the right leg to the right. So now the right hand holds the leg, whether you're seated or lying down. If you're lying down, the elbow can land on the floor and the forearm acts as a kickstand, holding the leg in the air. It's off to the right. The knee can be bent or the leg can be straight. Awesome. Bring the leg back to the ceiling or back to center if you're in the chair facing forward, and cross it over to the other side. So if you are lying down, the knees are going to the left. We're twisting to the left. I'll show you on the floor. The knees are dropping to the left. The torso stays face up. Both knees can be bent. If you're in the chair, we're crossing the leg over. It can be over the knee or over the ankle. And the torso is twisting to the right. Left hand is holding the right leg, torso twisting to the right. So on the floor, the legs are lowering to the left. On the chair, the torso is twisting to the right. Breathe, everybody breathe. All right. Legs up to center if you're on the floor. Untwist the torso if you're in the chair. If you're lying on the floor, both knees bent, both feet on the floor, we're symmetrical. If you're on the chair, we're in seated mountain. Let's all make the legs straighter. Walking the legs out until they're straighter, and then reaching the arms overhead, palms facing one another. We're still symmetrical, and we're stretching all the way through feet, the fingers, nice and long. Breathe. Good. Hands down to the sides, re-bend the knees. And now, if you're on the floor, hug both knees up to chest, like you're curling up like a little ball. If you're on the chair, hinge forward, wrap your arms underneath the thighs, pull the torso towards the thighs, gently, gently, gently. We're all hugged in like a ball. If you're in the chair like me, we're facing down. If you're on the floor, facing up, but we're all in the same position. All right, we're going to release the hug of both legs. Sitting back upright if you're in the chair, lowering the feet to the floor if you're on the floor. And now we go to left side. Hugging the left side, left thigh in. Find your deepest hug. The hands can be behind the thigh, over the shin. And we talked about this earlier in class, how important the webbings of the fingers are. And that's our strongest grip. If we go all the way to the webbings of the fingers and include the thumbs in this grip, it's called a stirrup grip. It's our strongest grip. This is a deep hug. We are breathing. Maybe the breath touches the thigh. Maybe the thigh touches the breath in the low belly. This is wind removing pose on left side. We're compressing descending colon. So it is normal and common to pass gas after this sequence. Aren't you lucky you're in the privacy of your own home and not in a yoga studio? All right, now this leg is going to go straighter. So straighten the left leg to the ceiling if you're on the floor, straight out in front of you if you're on the chair. And this is a nice time to put a strap right below the toes on the ball mounds of the feet to hold the strap. Otherwise, the grip is behind the thigh. Breathe. If you're experiencing any cramping or too much sensation in the hamstring, in the back of the thigh, give your legs some pumps. Little tiny knee bends and straightens, like you're pumping the gas pedal. That reassures the hamstring that you're looking out for it. Okay, and remember, this one, it's very common for the leg to shake. That's normal. Okay, we're gonna soften the knee, let it bend a little or a lot. Hold the leg with just the left arm and look. If you're on the chair, it's opening to the left. If you're on the floor, it's lowering down to the left. Floor people, if you're holding the outside of your thigh, your elbow will land on the floor and your forearm can act like a kickstand, holding the leg, supporting the leg. The leg can straighten or stay bent here. It's totally up to your hip joints and your muscles. Breathe. Okay, we didn't do this on side one, but let's get a little fancier. Reach out to the side with the right arm and turn your head to look to right hand. The right arm is on the floor, straight out if you're on the floor. Parallel to the floor if you're in the chair and you're looking at the hand. Great energetic posture. Everything back to middle. Both knees bent, feet on the floor. If you're on the floor, both knees bent, feet on the floor if you're in the chair. This is where we can cross the left leg over if you're on the chair. And our right hand holds the left leg and we twist the body to the left, nice and slow. If you're on the floor, the bent knees lower to the right and the back stays on the floor. Bent knees lower to the right. It's a lovely floor twist. It's too much for me to cross my knees on the chair, so I'm just going to cross at my ankles. Our jobs as yogis is to figure out how best to adapt the posture to our bodies at any given moment. All right. Knees up if you're on the floor, feet flat on the floor. Release the hands if you're in the chair and allow the body to untwist, facing forward. Seated people are in mountain posture. Floor people have their feet on the floor, and this is where we walk our feet out to make our legs straighter. Maybe flex the ankles. If your legs are all the way straight, flex the ankles so the toes are pointing up and roll the knees inward like you're making yourself knock-kneed. Breathe and then reach up overhead with the hands. Tone the belly. Nice and long through the heels, through the fingers. Keep your inner thighs rolling in the best you can. Good stuff. Hands down. Return the feet to the floor. Bent knees. One more hug. Both knees up to chest if you're on the floor. Hugging both knees up to chest. If you're in the chair, hinge forward and wrap your arms, much of your arms as you can, underneath the legs. Apanasana. All right. Release the legs. Come on up if you're seated. And pause, noticing what's happening. Next posture is Baddha Konasana, bound angle. If you're in the chair, well, no matter where you are, the soles of feet press together and the knees open and drop out. Knees open and drop out, soles of feet together. They call it butterfly pose because our legs are in the shape of butterfly wings, symmetrical. It's also called cobbler's pose, bound angle. If you have blocks handy and you're in the chair, the feet can be elevated. The posture is a little more intense. A footstool, they can be on a footstool. If you're a floor person right now, the feet can be any distance from the groin as feels good for your hips. The feet, the farther away, the less intense. If you want more intensity, draw your feet closer to you. This is a cooling posture. And there's so many benefits to this posture. It probably has in the yoga Bible, so to speak, this posture probably lists more benefits than any other posture. I mean, that's just my opinion. There's just a lot. One of them is prostate health. This is very good for prostate circulation and health. It's also good for the elimination organs, the bladder, the uterus. It's a restorative posture. When we're on a chair or on the floor and we're so our body is supported, it's very restoring too. If you want to hold this posture for a long time, like 15 minutes, support the outer thighs, like wedge some pillows underneath the outer thigh. It's wonderful to do like before bedtime while you're in your bed. We'll stay here for about 6 more breaths. Restorative yoga is one of my favorite types of yogas to practice and teach. If you have access to a restorative yoga class in your area, I highly recommend it. It's always done on the floor, and there's a lot of props involved. It's basically doing the postures without using any strength or balance because the props, the tools are doing that work for you. So it allows the nervous system to really relax a lot. And the position of the body is getting the benefits of the posture without us trying, without us, trying to stay balanced, working our muscles. It's a very different yoga practice, and there's wonderful benefits to it. It's called restorative yoga. That's my little advertisement plug for the day. Sponsored by nobody. I'm not getting paid to do that ad. All right, use your hands to help close the knees. Feet back fully on the floor. And then just sweep. Pretend your hands are feather dusters and you're sweeping the inner thighs towards the knees. Sweep that heat away. Good. Nice. Nice. Laying on the ground with knees bent, sitting on the chair with feet on the floor. Let's move into our metta meditation. So if you're on the floor and you'd like to straighten your legs and that feels okay with your back and hips, go ahead and straighten the legs. Otherwise, keep them bent. The eyes can drift closed, whether you're seated or lying. If you're seated, you can scooch back and allow the back of the chair to support you more. Let's first begin our Shavasana, our final resting pose, with a body scan. Feeling release and softening in the forehead. Inviting release and softening to the jaw muscles, the tongue. Release and softening to the throat and neck, shoulders. Allow your shoulders to be heavy. And if any of these parts are having difficulty softening, wiggle them a few times. And then just let them hang. Scan the chest and belly for any gripping. And encourage softening to replace that gripping. Arms and legs are heavy. Hands and feet just hanging out. Picture yourself as if you're looking in the mirror. See yourself with a gentle smile on your face, a happy demeanor. And bless yourself with these words. This is metta meditation, the meditation of loving kindness. It always begins with a blessing to ourselves first. May I be happy. May I be whole. May I live in love. Now picture somebody close to you, somebody that's very special to you. Picture them as though they're right here with you. And see their face with a smile, a happy demeanor. And bless them with these words. May you be happy. May you be whole. May you live in love. You may wish to imagine the two of you embracing, hugging, kissing, shaking hands, whatever you wish to imagine before they go on their way. Now, in our mind, let's picture somebody we are familiar with, but we don't know them that well. We can see their face. We may know their first name. It may be our mail carrier, the cashier at our grocery store, one of the classmates here that you see on a regular basis. Picture their face with a happy smile and bless them with these words. May you be happy. May you be whole. May you live in love. You may picture one another, maybe patting each other on the shoulder, shaking hands, kissing each other's cheek, whatever you wish before you go on your way. Next, we imagine a group of people, a very large group of people with something in common. They're filling up a big stadium. Maybe all the babies in the world, or all those suffering from chronic disease. Maybe it's all of our veterans. Maybe it's all of our teachers. Just pick a group, any group that resonates with you right now, and imagine they're all in a stadium together. See their faces with happy smiles. And bless this group with these words. May you be happy. May you be whole. May you live in love. Now we can picture this group hugging one another, shaking hands, smiling, embracing before they go on their way. Lastly, we started with an I blessing. We end with a we, a collective we. So please picture yourself in this group on our Zoom call. Your fellow classmates, your fellow teachers, and make sure you are included in this visual. May we be happy. May we be whole. May we live in love. May we be happy. May we be whole. May we live in love. Allow that to soak in. Rest here in Shavasana, in the love that you are. If you are lying down and you choose to get up right now, please do so slowly by bending the knees first and then rolling to one side into fetal position. Support your head with the lower arm. Pause on your side for a breath or two or three, as long as you need. And resisting the urge to lift yourself up with the head and neck muscles first, use your hand, the top hand. Push the hand down into the floor in front of you. And allow your head to follow. And then when the bottom hand is free, use that hand as well to press yourself up to a seated position or kneeling if you need to support yourself with the chair seat. When we all find ourselves in a seated position, let's press our hands together into Anjali Mudra, sealing the love that we are, sealing the happiness, sealing the wholeness. We all have access to this at every given moment. May we remember, may we remember. My heart bows to your heart with so much gratitude, love, peace, and joy. Namaste.